So if you're working on any major waterworks project, you're going to face this challenge eventually, connecting ductile iron to PVC. You've got the incredible strength of iron on one side and the flexibility of PVC on the other. They're both powerhouse materials for sure, but they couldn't be more different. So how do you build a bridge between them? A connection that's not just possible, but is actually permanent and reliable. Let's break it all down.
And that really is the fundamental puzzle, isn't it? You have the sheer brute strength of iron, and then you have the lightweight, corrosion-proof nature of PVC. On the surface, it really seems like they just shouldn't work together. So, can you actually join them and create one seamless functional system?
The answer is an absolute solid yes. And here's the thing, it's not just possible. In a lot of situations, creating this kind of hybrid system is actually the smartest way to go. We're about to show you exactly how it's done, what you need to watch out for, and how to pick the perfect method for your job.
Here's our game plan. First up, we'll talk about the why, all the benefits of a hybrid system. Then we're going to open up the toolkit and look at the actual hardware. After that, we dive into the nitty-gritty, the devil in the details. We'll show you how to sidestep some common mistakes and then wrap it all up by helping you choose the right method for any situation.
All right, let's start with the big picture. Why would you even want to connect these two materials in the first place? Well, it turns out it's often a huge strategic advantage, not just a simple fix.
Well, a hybrid system lets you play to the strengths of both materials. You get to put the super rugged durability of ductile iron exactly where you need it most, and then use the corrosion-resistant, easy-to-handle PVC everywhere else. This isn't just about saving money, either. It makes future maintenance so much easier, because you can do targeted repairs instead of replacing the whole system. And that versatility, it gives you the freedom to design smarter, more resilient systems.
Okay, enough about the why. Let's get our hands dirty. It's time to open up the connection toolkit. We're going to walk through the 3 most common, most reliable methods for joining ductile iron straight to PVC. First up, we have the mechanical joint, or MJ fitting. This is one of the true workhorses of the industry. It's a really simple but effective system. You've got a gland, a set of bolts, and they all work together to compress a rubber gasket right into the bell of the fitting. The result? A super powerful watertight seal. And here's the interesting part. MJ fittings were originally designed specifically for ductile iron pipe. So here's the absolute key when you're using an MJ fitting to connect to PVC. It all comes down to the outside diameter, or the OD. See, MJ fittings are standardized for ductile iron ODs, so you have to verify the OD of your PVC pipe. If it doesn't match, don't worry, it's not a deal breaker. You just have to use a special little component called a transition gasket. It's designed to make up that difference and give you a perfect seal.
All right, let's grab our next tool, the transition coupling. Just like the name says, these are literally designed to join different types of pipe. They don't use a bell and spigot. Instead, they work by clamping down on the outside surfaces of both pipes, creating a secure connection right there in the middle.
And just like with MJ fittings, the outside diameter is everything here. Every single transition coupling has a specific tolerance, and it's listed as a minimum-maximum range. Before you even think about installing it, you've got to confirm that the ODs of both your ductile iron and your PVC pipe fall somewhere inside that range. If they don't, that coupling just won't seal or grip the way it's supposed to. Our third method is the flanged connection. Now, this is a really robust and direct way to join pipes. You attach a flange to the end of the ductile iron pipe, you attach another one to the PVC pipe, and then you bring those two flanges together with a gasket sandwiched right in between and bolt them down securely. And that rigid design is exactly why flanged connections are the go-to choice for high-pressure water systems. When you absolutely cannot have any slipping or movement at that joint, flanges provide the positive restraint you need to keep everything locked down tight. So we've covered the main tools in the toolkit, but like any pro job, success really comes down to the details. This next part is all about the critical checks you have to make to ensure that connection is not just made, but that it's made to last.
I just love this quote because it cuts right to the heart of the matter. Most of these fittings, remember, were designed for ductile iron. So that side of the connection is usually pretty straightforward. The real focus, the part that needs your full attention, is the other side. In our case, the PVC pipe.
So what's the bottom line? Never, ever assume. Always verify. Before you even try to make a connection, get your eyes on the PVC pipe. look for those markings printed right on its side. They'll tell you the material, the size, and most importantly, the exact outside diameter. This one simple check is the #1 thing you can do to prevent a connection failure down the road.
Okay, now that we know what to look for, let's talk about what to avoid. There's one really common pitfall that can cause more than just a leak. It can actually damage the pipe itself and compromise your entire system.
This is all about using the right restraint system for the right material. And listen, they are absolutely not interchangeable. If you try to use a heavy-duty ductile iron restrainer on a PVC pipe, its aggressive grip can literally crush or crack the PVC wall. But it's just as bad the other way around. A PVC restrainer on ductile iron, it's just not going to have the muscle to apply enough torque to grip that iron properly, and you'll end up with a weak joint that's just a failure waiting to happen.
All right, we've built our toolkit and we flagged the major pitfalls. So now let's bring it all home. How do you decide which one of these 3 methods is actually the best for your specific situation? Well, your decision really boils down to 3 key questions. First, what kind of pressure are you dealing with? Not just day-to-day, but potential surges. Second, what's the long-term plan here? How critical is reliability, and what's the maintenance forecast look like? And finally, what are the actual conditions on site? Is this going to be an easy install, or are you working in a tight squeeze?
So let's put it all together in a quick guide. For MJ fittings, your main focus has to be on that transition gasket, which makes them perfect for versatile connections, especially around valves. For transition couplings, it's all about making sure the pipe OD is within range, ideal for straightforward inline joints. And for flange connections, getting the proper torque is everything, making them the undisputed champion for high-pressure, immovable systems.
So, the big takeaway here is this. Connecting ductile iron to PVC isn't just some workaround. When you choose the right method, you verify your materials, and you pay close attention to those details, you can engineer a powerful, cost-effective, and really durable hybrid system that gives you the best of both worlds.
So we've mastered connecting today's powerhouse materials. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As new composites and alloys keep emerging, how will these core principles of connection and compatibility have to adapt? And maybe more importantly, how is that going to shape the infrastructure of tomorrow? Thanks for tuning in.